right, so thanks for joining us, everyone. Next up, we have Shibani Baluja, founder and CEO of lil'gourmets. Hi.
Hi.
Thanks for joining us, Shibani.
Thank you.
So excited to talk with you. So we're talking about your line of baby food, which I'm going to
Yes.
let you talk about because you know the proper language to use.
Sure,
So
yes.
tell us a little bit about lil'gourmets.
Yeah, so lil'gourmets is really unique in the kids' food industry. We're really focused on getting kids to eat more vegetables, eat really flavorful foods, and our product is also refrigerated. So lil'gourmets really came about with my experiences of becoming a mom and seeing what was in the market and not feeling great about the choices that were there. I found them to be very heavy in fruit, which made them high in sugar. I also had really cooked most of my kids' meals, and I saw firsthand what that early introduction of fresh, flavorful food had on their palates. They just ate a lot of vegetables and they ate a lot of food with a lot of flavor. And so I started looking at the market. I was previously in mergers and acquisitions, and I always studied different industries. And so I started taking a hard look at the baby food industry, and I saw that while it was big, it really wasn't serving the needs of parents today. So 50 to 70% of parents had left baby food, and it wasn't because they wanted to, it was because they weren't satisfied with the choices. So decided to launch lil'gourmets.
Yeah, and I'm sure lots of parents were excited to have that option to grab at the shelf versus having to make their own baby food to, make something with better ingredients. What was that initial launch phase like for you guys of spreading your message?
Yeah, so I'd say we're still in it.
Yeah.
So it was a couple years of development and really talking to thousands of parents during that time. And so we really found that the message of fresh, flavorful vegetables was really resonating with them. And so we had the product right, but as we started to really get onto shelves, we started to see we really didn't have the package right, and our package wasn't quite, it didn't show the value proposition of the product. And so we took a step back and said we don't think that the package we have today is really going to lead us to success in broad distribution. And so we redesigned the package, and I've got it over here. And so we redesigned it to really show, one, to stick out on shelf, because we're generally shelved in dairy sets, and everything is kind of white, and there's not a lot of technically baby food, but so we wanted parents to be able to see it, and then we also really wanted to highlight the flavor. So we wanted the very much colorful, flavor-first strategy that really spoke to the benefits of those products and of those properties, the vegetables and the flavors.
Sure. How did you figure out keeping your price point at least somewhat in line with the rest of the shelf?
Yeah, that I would say that we've followed kind of what you see in pet food. So where what's in the cooler is about twice the price of what's outside of the cooler, and it's really the cost of the higher ingredients. The cold chain itself is such an expensive, doing the refrigerated distribution. So we really wanted to make sure that we stayed at a price point that parents still felt good about, but it is a premium because it is a premium product. So I think we're still kind of playing around with a lot of these decisions. I don't think that we know if we've got everything set. So we're always, constantly talking to parents, learning, trying different things, and just evolving our product and our strategy and our messaging.
And how many flavors do you have now?
So today we have 4, but we've got another 5 in development. We'll be launching a couple more early next year, and then a couple more later in the year. And so we're really trying to get a wide variety of flavors to parents. And so it's really interesting. So we tested our concept of really globally inspired flavors. So today we've got an Asian, a South Indian blend, a Moroccan blend. We've got our beet stew, which is more of a U.S., and then our mash is a coconut cauliflower mash is more of a Australian stew. So we loved this idea of introducing different cultures to kids with food. And so we tested the concept. It scored off the charts with our demographic. And so now we're bringing that, we're going even bolder. So I think we're going to, with different ingredients, a whole diversity of ingredients that are not in our products today, but then also different flavor profiles. So South America, Cuban, Europe. And so we're really just trying to look at the map when we do our innovation. We took a look at the map and said, okay, where are we today? Where do we want to be? And how do we get there? And so when we do our innovation, we're not innovating for baby food. We actually don't refer to our products as baby food. We're veggie meals. Like, we are just trying to bring flavorful, delicious vegetables to little kids, big kids, any age, adults. It's all just about bringing convenience and a healthy snack.
Yeah. Was it difficult to sort of strike that balance, though, of finding really flavorful and interesting options, but then not being able to get direct feedback from kids, I'm guessing?
You know, it's really interesting. We've both got little kids, so they are always the first. I have a now 3-year-old and a 6-year-old. My business partner has a 1-year-old and a 4-year-old. So they've been the guinea pigs in this. The original flavors were very much based upon foods that I cooked for my son. But I will say that when we test the products, if we are in front of we do a lot of demos. So if we're in front of a 6-month-old to a 12-month-old, 99% of the time they are opening up for seconds. The research shows there is such a high correlation between our first foods and our future eating habits that we know that if we can get them early, they will love these flavors, and then it'll influence what they eat later on. Now, you get a 2-year-old in front of us, and for us, it's 50-50. It is all dependent on what they've eaten up to that time. And so it's interesting because my business partner, she joined lil'gourmets about a year ago, and a little over a year ago, and her older daughter didn't eat food like this. And so she sees the difference in her 2 kids, in that her son is such an adventurous eater, but her daughter is a little bit more hesitant about it.
Yeah, that must be pretty fun to experiment.
It is. And then we see it, of course, in store demos and events. We do a lot of kid-focused events, and so we're always trying different products and getting out samples and just really getting feedback, both from parents and from kids. And we end up selling actually to a lot of adults without kids at these events too. So.
Didn't know if that was just in the BevNet office or if that stretched to the outside world.
It definitely
it's definitely
does.
A trend there.
Yeah.
So you launched at the end of last year, and since then you've redesigned the packaging. Tell us a little bit. I know we have it over there. Tell us about how you think this stands out more in the set.
So if you think about where we are, we really think that in the dairy set is the right place for us to be. I mean, these are refrigerated, and everything in the kids snacking area that's in the refrigerator, like Stonyfield and Chobani and all their products, are very, very much white, but they're also mostly yogurt. And so we really wanted this to stand out, to say this is plant-based, it's not yogurt, it's really vegetables. And so we thought going with color in an area that is mostly white, and also showing the jewel tones of the food, and it really matches, the packaging kind of matches the color of the food, would really help it stick out. And then, like I was saying before, the whole flavor first strategy. I mean, that's really what we're trying to attract the consumer with, is this is different than your traditional baby food. This is actually like a real healthy snack, or can be a snack for an older one, a meal for a young one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What about parents who are thinking, my child's really picky, I'm not sure that my child's going to eat coconut. Yeah. How do you sort of get them to understand what you're trying to do, and also to see that sometimes kids are a little bit more open than we think?
Yeah. So the research also shows that it can take a good amount of trial for kids to learn to love different flavors. Mm-hmm. So we do like to say to stick with it, but I think where we see I think that kind of shapes our strategy. So if we stick with a truly online strategy, which is what we mostly are today, then that trial gets more difficult as the kids are aging up, because there is a bigger chance that they're not going to be used to these type of flavors, and no parent wants to buy food that then just gets thrown away. So for us, we like the retail distribution. We're trying to get more and more into grocery stores so that you can try 1 or 2 at a time. It's one of the best pieces of feedback, though, I do often get, is from parents when they say, I actually enjoy when my kid doesn't finish it, because then I can eat it myself. So hopefully it doesn't go to waste. But I think what we're trying to do is really, again, with different flavor profiles, find the couple that your child might like. And so babies, I think, will like the whole line. As they get older, it's really going to be based on more of what they are used to, and then trying to get them used to things like this. Mm-hmm. And my partner's 4-year-old has come around, and she loves the beets. She eats all the time.
Nice, and not just because it's a pretty pink package.
Exactly.
Maybe that too.
Yeah, maybe that too.
What stores can we find these in so far?
So right now, again, we're mostly online, and then we're in Chicago. So
Okay.
our home market, we're in a number of mom and pops, but we're really hopeful that in 2020 you'll be able to find us in a lot more stores.
Great, super exciting. Anything else you have going on with the brand we should know about?
I think just the real feeling like we've got now the right offering to really be running. So early next year we'll have 6 flavors, which has been the feedback from almost every retailer we've met with is they want 6 flavors. And so now we've got the packaging that we think is really going to stick out on shelf. The stores that we're in today, the velocities we are so happy with. Like we are just we are turning much faster, especially with the, when we launched this package, basically our velocities went up, doubled overnight. And so we really feel like we're ready to run. And so we're just looking for the right retailers to give us a chance.
Awesome. Well, hopefully you make some good connections here at NOSH Live.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us on the Livestream studio.
Thank you.
Great meeting you.
Thank you. So nice to meet you.
Thanks so much for watching NOSH. Don't forget to hit subscribe and ding that bell.